my dad's 1996 Toyota Corolla. So as you can see, I'm rinsing it down with a pre-wash, which is just normal water. I tend to use a 2-bucket method, which is clean water in one bucket and soapy water in the other. So I go onto the car with the soapy water and then come off and go into the clean bucket. So as you can see, I'm just making sure that I have removed all of the contaminants off the car, so any road grime, and just making sure that I get into all of the areas, you know, where the wheel arches are. Just make sure they're really nice and clean. Just makes it easier so that when I snow foam it, which will be in the next couple of minutes, as you can see here, just using one of the, I think it's Turtle Wax generic snow foam, which kind of does the job. It lifts off all the dirt. Now some people would sort of rinse that off and then use the microfiber, or sorry, not microfiber, the wash mitt, as you can see here. But I do it this way. I'm also using Autoglim's sort of cleaner there, which is just a shampoo which goes in the bucket. I like the product. I tend to use Autoglim. Seems to work quite well on the car. So yeah, it's cleaning up nicely. And then for the wheels, I will do a separate bit, which you'll see in this video, where I use the Autoglim Magma wheel cleaner, which is really good. It lifts off all the iron particles and makes the wheels look really good, and just gets off any of that sort of brake dust that's in the wheels. So you can see here that black bucket in the corner is my soapy water bucket, and then the yellow one, which is just off camera, is my clean water bucket. Just making sure I go over all of it, and I tend to split the car into sections. So I'll work from the roof is one section, then the side windows is another section, and then where the white pinstriping is, then that goes down to another section, and then where the black mouldings are on the sides, that's another section, and then I add in the bumpers and the bonnet and the boot lid as separate sections as well into that. So as I'm going down, you can see there, as I'm sort of going around making sure I haven't missed anything, just making sure that it is nice and clean. I also do snow foam in the arches as well, just to make sure no dirt gets stuck in them. As we all know with Japanese cars, they love to sort of rust in those arches. So now I'm just grabbing the jet washer, rinsing off all of the soapy water, as you can see here. I'm just working from the top down, just making sure that I don't miss anything and that all that soap is removed, because it has a tendency to start coming out of little gaps, as you might know if you've done this before in your own car. Also, as you can see, the water is beading off very nicely. I do use a ceramic coating. It's just a spray-on ceramic coating. You can do it when the car's dirty, but I tend to clean it properly and polish it, and then I'll apply the ceramic coating afterwards, just to make sure it's got the best adhesion, obviously to the paint. And then just spraying in behind the light guards at the front there, just to make sure there's no soap behind it. I will take them off and dry them, just to be sure, but yeah, going around. Here I have adorned some lovely orange gloves, just because the stuff, it does stain your clothes temporarily, but it also can irritate skin. It's a fairly harsh chemical, but it works, and yeah, I just prefer sometimes to put gloves on. Don't always, but yeah. So what I'm going to do, helps if you turn it on first. Always helps if you do that. So just give it a light spritz over on the wheel, like so. And sometimes I do this before I snow foam it, just because then it can sit there for a little while and kind of just work its way in. I do leave it for a couple of minutes. It normally goes slightly pink, and then once it's gone slightly pink, I'll agitate it with this brush, which you can see has been very well used for wheels, but it gets into these very nicely. And then I will kind of agitate it, leave it, go on and do the next wheel, and then I come back and I rinse it off afterwards, just so it gets a little bit of time to sit. As you see, the wheels aren't that dirty because the chemical reaction is happening incredibly slowly. But if I'll go and spray the other wheels, and then I'll let you kind of watch it, and you can see it's slowly, hopefully, turn purple. Yeah, so as you can see, it's not particularly going purple, but if we start agitating it, as you can see, it's lifting the dirt sort of off of it, and it is kind of getting that dirt off of the. I mean, these are only wheel trims, so they're not. We've got steel wheels, so they're not going to be. It doesn't damage the plastic. As you can see, it's sort of there. It's going purple. Just where it's reacting with, I'm pretty sure it's iron particles in the dirt. I may be wrong on that, so if I am wrong, there'll be a little thing over the top of the video going, I'm wrong, this is what it reacts with, but it's something like that, and it makes it go the lovely purple colour, which means it is lifting that dirt off. So then I'll normally go around the tyre as well, just give that a quick clean as well. I mean, these tyres are pretty knackered anyway, so they need replacing at some point. They're not very grippy. You can normally slightly spin the wheels when leaving the junction. Not that I would do that for disclaimery purposes, but one potentially could do that just because they are quite old tyres. They're not anything special, but I'm probably going to get maybe a set of. It would have originally come on probably Pirellis, as the spare wheel is a Pirelli, or I might go and get some Toyos or something like that, but probably keep these wheels, as these did come from the car from factory. The only thing that didn't come from car from factory is the blue steel wheels, which I did paint ages and ages ago. They kind of look alright. I'm not too fussed about it. It was more because I don't know why the video cut off there, but yeah, I was just talking about the wheels and the blue and all the rest of it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about it. I've done all the other wheels, so I'm just going to pressure wash the wheels off, and then yeah. So that's pressure washed off. I'll come back to you when I do the next stage. So I've just tidied everything up, to be fair. I just want to go through kind of my wheel finishing off. So I normally get a sort of, isn't that dirty, but a not 100% clean microfiber. It is washed, but it's just not the newest, because obviously it's a wheel. So we're going to just kind of just dry the wheel off. A little bit harder because it's so cold. Well, it's not that cold, but it's cold enough that the water kind of doesn't necessarily dry as fast as it would do if it was the summertime, which is good in some respects, but then also does mean that it takes a little bit more time, and sometimes you have to use more than one towel because the towel gets so wet, hence why I've left the body to dry off a bit, just to kind of give me a bit of time and to stop my towel from getting so wet when I do go and dry the car. But as you can see, the wheel looks sort of more or less dry. It's going to be a little bit sort of moist, but for the most part it's okay. Now I would normally use tyre dressing on the tyre, but again the wheels are still quite wet, and and tyre shine doesn't really stick very well to wet wheels, so I'm going to just leave them as they are. I think when I do my winter wash, I will obviously let the car fully dry out, and then I'll put some tyre dressing on, and that normally just protects the tyre. It does give a nice glossy finish. You can also make it slightly more matte by wiping more of it off, but yeah, so I'm going to move you back up and then show you washing the rest of the car, or drying the rest of the clothing. So you join voice over me again. So now I'm just drying the car with a Halford microfiber towel from the top down to the bottom, and obviously just making sure all the water is removed as much as possible. And it's not perfect, it's just to remove all the big particles of water, so when it dries it doesn't leave little blobby marks, which can be really irritating, and they don't really come out unless you do this step. So yeah, just making sure it's completely dry as much as possible. And it's alright to leave little bits of water, it's just those big droplets which can mark paint. It will come out in the next wash, but it just looks better if you get as much of it off as possible. And I just use the towel, working my way from top to the bottom, trying not to go back up again, and then yeah, just making sure it's all as dry as possible, and it's an evenly spread sort of layer of moisture, as you can see, just cleaning in the windows there. And I'll just remove the light covers now. One thing I'm going to do is just remove these light covers, just so I can dry underneath, because otherwise they stay wet. They just stay wet under there. Give it a quick wipe, dry off there, and just dry the inside of it. Yeah, these are more or less original to the car. Dad was driving once, stone hit the glass headlight, because he's a glass, and shattered it. So he bought these sort of original Toyota headlight covers, which when they were new they would have had all the lovely lines on them, but sort of over the years the lines have come off. So I'm probably, if I can see if I can find some original, sort of new original ones, I probably will do, because I think they would look actually quite nice, especially with all the lines and stuff, and they have Corolla. I don't know how well you can see it, but it does say Corolla there. And you've got Toyota and you've got all the sort of lines in there. But unfortunately, they have kind of rubbed off in the years of usage, and one of the clips broke and I just pulled them off, I think. So yeah, they're old, so they're getting a bit brittle, but they look nice once they're on there. Yeah, so that's kind of my car washing video, and